Every engineering team has this argument at some point. Someone says we should use REST because everyone knows REST. Someone else says GraphQL because they used it at their last job and loved it. The senior backend developer insists gRPC is the only serious choice for microservices. And then everyone spends 3 hours arguing and ships the same REST API they were going to build anyway. In 2026, this argument is still happening everywhere. But we now have much better data to settle it. So in this video, I am going to build the same service in all 3 protocols using Rust, gRPC with Tonic, REST with Axum, and GraphQL with async-graphql, benchmark them properly, and then give you an honest framework for when each one actually makes sense. The spoiler is that gRPC wins on raw performance in every benchmark. But performance is not always the right metric. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly when that matters and when it does not, and you will have working code for all 3 approaches you can adapt for your own projects. Let's go. Before we dive in, I want to talk about Aarambh Dev Hub's partner, CodeCrafters, and this one I actually mean it when I say it is a good one. If you have been watching Aarambh Dev Hub for a while, you already know that we are all about understanding how things actually work under the hood. Not just using tools, but truly understanding them. Why does Redis work the way it does? How does Git actually store your commits? What is really happening when you type a command in your shell? CodeCrafters is built around exactly that same curiosity. CodeCrafters is a platform where you rebuild real developer tools from scratch. Things like Git, Redis, a shell, an HTTP server, a DNS server, a BitTorrent client, you actually build them yourself, stage by stage, in your own language. Every stage unlocks the next, and you can see exactly how far along you are as you go. Now the most popular language on CodeCrafters is Rust, and that makes total sense for this channel. If you're just getting started with Rust and want to learn it the right way, this is honestly one of the best approaches out there. Instead of reading theory or doing small exercises that go nowhere, you sit down and build something real. Something you have actually heard of. Something that exists in the real world. And that is when Rust really starts to click. This is not your typical tutorial platform where you just watch someone else code and feel like you learned something. You are the one writing the code, you are the one debugging it, you are the one making it pass each stage. That kind of active, hands-on learning is what actually makes you a better systems programmer, and I will be honest. It is genuinely a lot of fun. The challenges are used by engineers at companies like Google, Meta, and Shopify. And if your company has a learning and development budget, there is a very good chance CodeCrafters is covered under it, meaning it could cost you absolutely nothing out of pocket. Worth checking with your manager before you pay yourself. The link is in the description below. Check it out, and if you do sign up through it, you also directly support Aarambh Dev Hub, so thank you in advance if you do. Alright, now let us get into the video. Before we write any code, I want to give you a clear mental model because a lot of the confusion around these 3 comes from not understanding what problem each one is actually solving. REST is an architectural style, not a protocol. You use HTTP verbs, get, post, put, delete, to represent operations on resources. A user is a resource. Getting a user is get live wide users 123. Creating one is post live wide users. The data is almost always JSON over HTTP 1.1. REST is universal. Every language, every platform, every browser, every HTTP client can call a REST API without any special tooling. That universality is both its greatest strength and the source of its performance ceiling. GraphQL is a query language for your API. Instead of many fixed endpoints, you have one endpoint that accepts queries. The client describes exactly what data it needs and the server returns exactly that, nothing more, nothing less. Facebook built GraphQL because their mobile app was drowning in REST endpoints that returned too much data over slow mobile connections. The client overfetching problem, getting 50 fields when you only need 3, is what GraphQL was designed to solve. gRPC is a remote procedure call framework built on top of HTTP2 and protocol buffers. Instead of thinking in resources and HTTP verbs, you think in functions. You define a service with typed method signatures in a proto file, generate client and server code from that definition, and call the methods directly. The payload is protocol buffers binary, a compact format typically 3 to 10 times smaller than equivalent JSON. gRPC also gets HTTP2 multiplexing for free. Multiple requests share a single connection. Headers are compressed, and bidirectional streaming is native. The best teams in 2026 use more than one. The typical architecture has a public REST API for external integrations, GraphQL for internal front-end communication, and gRPC for backend microservice-to-microservice calls. We will come back to this at the end, but first let's build all three. If you're finding this useful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this reach more developers. And subscribe for more deep dive Rust content every week. Back to the code. Tonic is the gRPC implementation for Rust. It is built on Hyper and Tokio and has first-class async support. gRPC requires a step that REST and GraphQL do not. You define your service contract in a proto file and generate Rust code from it. This schema-first approach is one of gRPC's key advantages. Create the project and proto directory. Create proto users proto. Let me explain this file carefully. The syntax equals proto 3 lines specifies protocol buffers version 3. The package gives our types a namespace. The service block defines our RPC methods. User, queryfader, and list users are standard unary calls. One request, one response. Stream users is different. The stream keyword before user response means this is a server streaming RPC. The server sends multiple responses over a single connection as a stream. This is something REST cannot do cleanly. You would need server-sent events or WebSockets for the equivalent functionality. Every field has a number. These field numbers are what gets serialized into the binary format, not the field names. Instead of encoding the string email, protocol buffers encodes the number 2. That is why the payloads are so compact. And these numbers are how backward compatibility works. You can add new fields with new numbers and older clients, simply ignore them. Cargo TOML. Tonic 0.12 is the gRPC framework. Prost handles protocol buffers serialization. Tokio Stream gives us stream utilities for the server streaming RPC. The build dependencies section has Tonic build, which runs at compile time to generate Rust code from our proto file. This is the extra build step gRPC requires. Create build.rs in the project root. Every time Cargo builds, it checks if the proto file changed and regenerates the Rust code if needed. Now src main-rs. Let me explain the most important parts. The Tonic include proto. Macro brings in all the generated code from our proto file. The string users matches the package name we defined in the proto file. We implement the URSpacer trait for our struct. The Tonic async trait attribute is needed because Rust's trait system does not yet support async methods and traits natively. Tonic uses a macro to work around this limitation. Each handler receives a request wrapping the generated request type. We call into inler to get the actual data. We return either a response or a status error. Tonic has a rich set of gRPC status codes matching the gRPC specification. The stream queuesers handler is the most interesting. We create a Tokio MPSC channel, spawn a task that sends users one at a time, and return a receiver stream. The client receives a stream of user response messages arriving as the server sends them. This is real bidirectional streaming over a single HTTP2 connection, something that requires additional infrastructure in REST. Run it with cargo run. The server listens on port 50051, the conventional gRPC port. Same service in REST with Axum. We have built Axum APIs throughout this series, so I will focus on the comparison points. No build step. No by proto files. No code generation. Just dependencies and Rust code. This lower barrier to entry is REST's biggest practical advantage over gRPC for teams just getting started. The key difference from gRPC is visible immediately: no enforced schema. The contract between client and server is implicit. A curl command, a Python request call, a JavaScript fetch. Anything speaks to this API. That universality is REST's superpower for public-facing APIs. But it also means there is no machine-readable contract enforcing what fields exist or what types they are. You can add OpenAPI tooling to get some of that back, but it is not built in. Now GraphQL. The async-GraphQL crate integrates cleanly with Axum and is one of the fastest GraphQL implementations in any language. async-GraphQL 7 is the framework. async-GraphQL Axum provides the bridge between async-GraphQL schema and Axum's handler system. The simple object derive on user automatically exposes all fields as GraphQL fields. The object macro on query root and mutation root defines the schema from our Rust method signatures. The method name becomes the GraphQL field name. This code-first approach means the schema is always in sync with your implementation. The GraphiQL handler at getGraphQL serves the GraphiQL IDE, a built-in browser query explorer where front-end developers can interactively explore the schema, see documentation, and test queries with autocomplete. This is a massive developer experience advantage over REST for teams building multiple frontends against the same API. The client selectivity is the other big win. A query asking only for ID and name gets back only ID and name, the other fields are not serialized or transmitted. For mobile clients on slow connections, this directly reduces data usage and response time. If you are working on API design in Rust and want to discuss your approach, come join the Discord. We have a weekly Sunday study group where people share what they are building and get input from the group. The link is in the description. All 3 servers are running. Let me benchmark the list endpoint on each one. For REST and GraphQL, I will use WRK. For gRPC, I will use GHZ, a dedicated gRPC benchmarking tool. REST result, around 240,000 requests per second. Average latency around 0.8 milliseconds. GraphQL result, around 180,000 requests per second. Average latency around 1 millisecond. gRPC result, around 380,000 requests per second. Average latency around 0.5 milliseconds. The ranking is clear. gRPC is fastest, about 60% faster than REST, and more than twice as fast as GraphQL on this workload. The advantage comes from 2 places. HTTP2 multiplexing means multiple requests share one connection, so connection establishment overhead is amortized across many calls. And protocol buffers binary encoding means the response payload is significantly smaller than JSON, less to serialize, transmit, and deserialized. gRPC's binary encoding can cut bandwidth costs by 60 to 80% for service-to-service traffic compared to JSON over REST. At the scale where bandwidth is a real infrastructure cost, this matters in dollars. GraphQL is slower than REST because of the query parsing and execution overhead. Every request requires parsing the query string, validating it against the schema, building an execution plan, and resolving fields. Async-GraphQL is one of the fastest GraphQL implementations in any language, but the protocol itself has inherent overhead that REST does not carry. Here is how to actually choose in 2026. Use REST when your API is public-facing and consumed by developers who do not control their tooling. REST with JSON is the lingua franca of the web. Webhooks, partner integrations, public APIs, third-party mobile apps, all best served by REST. Zero friction for consumers. Use Axum, ship an OpenAPI spec, done. Use gRPC when you're building internal microservice communication, where performance and type safety matter, and you control both ends of the connection. The binary protocol, HTTP2 multiplexing, and generated type-safe clients make it the right choice for high-throughput service-to-service calls. The proto schema gives you a strong typed contract across services in different languages. Your Rust service can talk to a Go service or a Python service via gRPC with full type safety on both ends. If latency and bandwidth are real constraints, and at microservice scale they often are, gRPC is the answer. Use GraphQL when your primary consumers are your own front-end applications that need different subsets of the same data depending on the view or device. The biggest wins come from eliminating overfetching on mobile clients and giving front-end teams independence to request exactly what they need without waiting for back-end API changes. The GraphiQL IDE is genuinely excellent for front-end developers. Multiple front-ends needing different data shapes from the same back-end is where GraphQL justifies its overhead. The honest production architecture in 2026 uses all 3. A public REST API for external consumers, GraphQL for your own front-ends, gRPC for internal back-end communication. These are layers, not competing choices. Before the outro, if this channel has helped you understand Rust and API design, and you want to support the work, buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Everything goes toward building these projects and making these videos. Thank you genuinely to everyone who already has. That is the full comparison: gRPC with Tonic, REST with Axum, and GraphQL with async-GraphQL, all benchmarked in Rust in 2026.
gRPC is fastest at around 380,000 requests per second with 60 to 80% smaller payloads. REST sits around 240,000 with universal accessibility. GraphQL around 180,000 with the client's selectivity flexibility that justifies that cost in the right context. The decision is not which is best, it is which fits the layer of your system you are building.
If this video ended the argument for you, hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds and genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe for more Rust content every week. Drop a comment, which protocol are you using in your Rust projects and why? I read every single one. Check out the Axum versus Actix versus Warp video for deeper REST framework comparison. The gRPC series shows a full Axum application in production context. Both are linked in the description. Come join the Discord community. And support the channel via Buy Me a Coffee. Both links are in the description. Thanks for watching and happy coding.